Guys, well, we just wrapped up 15 days, and it's good to get through spring football. I think you get. All I can tell you is, they haven't done this a long time. You get to this day right here, and when you can walk in that locker room and you haven't had any major injuries, you feel like, wow, we got through 15 days and our spring game, and we got a lot done. And we didn't have any major injuries. I got to tell you, I'm almost talking out loud to you. I feel great about that. I read the ESPN things about these teams and who did this to themselves in the spring game. Last night, that's all I could really think about. Just let's go have a little fun. The hay has been in the barn, and let's just go out there, play a little bit, and get out of Dodge and get ready for next season. Having said that, like I said, I thought we had a productive spring. I don't think today was as productive as, honestly, what we've really had in spring ball. Sometimes that happens. I think, it's a good experience. You come to the link, you're out of your 14-day zone, and all of a sudden, bam, you're in a new environment. But, boy, I really loved that environment. It was fun. I think the kids loved it. I think it's a good experience that all of a sudden they're back in that setting again. It's different. It's not a little thing. It's a big thing, especially some of the young players. All of a sudden, it's like, wow, you can see there's no coaches around them. You know what I mean? All spring long, the coaches hover, which is probably not a good thing. And then all of a sudden, they're out here on that field, and I'm standing out there. But beyond that, that's about it. So that experience is probably pretty good. I thought that, the day went good today. I thought the first quarter was extremely sluggish, and we were, misfiring out there. Obviously, we're not running all the things we've worked on in the spring because we didn't want to do that today. But I thought the second quarter, actually, we looked like a better football team. And then, of course, a lot of the young guys were in there at the end. I think overall, we dropped too many footballs today. That bothered me. And in the run game, we kind of kept things pretty simple, and they really didn't do a lot of the things that we've done. But I love the atmosphere. I love the environment. I think it was great for our kids. It was a great experience. We had a very productive spring, and we came out of this thing with no serious injuries. So I think it's great for us to be able to now move forward, finish school strong in the next 2 weeks, have a great off season, and as you guys all know, we'll be back in here sitting. I'll be here, and you'll be there before you can blink twice. Any questions?
Coach, can you talk about what challenges presents replacing Bernard Pierce and key players in your offensive line?
Well, quite honestly, I think Matt Brown had just a sensational. You guys didn't get a full look at him today, but you've seen him, a full look at him. He was dynamic this spring. Dynamic. And he's so durable, you know what I mean? And I didn't play him really today. I gave him a couple series today. But, I think that he'll be outstanding. I think our offensive line, I really feel coming out of the spring, it's probably hard to assess that for you today, which I totally understand. But I came out of the spring and I said, you know what, we'll put up 5 guys that I think will be very good, and we won't miss a beat. Our problem is depth, and I've said that right along, and I'm just telling you like it is, honestly. And it's going to be depth. Coming up with 6, 7, 8 is where the real challenge is, and that's what you kind of saw today, because we were immediately in. Well, we already know. Pringle's been out. And Jamin Newman was out today. He sprained his ankle the other day. Okay, he's fine. But he really tried to play a little bit and really couldn't play. So you're kind of into what's going to be, 6, 7, 8. And that's where we have a lot of work to do. The depth. But honestly, last year it wasn't much different. We managed to kind of somewhat stay healthy. We had basically one guy, John Plumble, this year was kind of hurt a lot through the season. But that's the challenge. Now we've got some good young players coming in here, and that'll help us. So that's a challenge, okay? So the offensive line's depth. I'm real excited about our running backs. We're developing, obviously, Jalen's a very exciting guy. You guys didn't get a real sense of that probably today, or maybe actually you did a little bit. He's an electric player that can play an inside receiver tailback, and we didn't really utilize him the way we probably will utilize him. We didn't do that today. He's electric. Kenny Harper's going to become a good, strong, short yardage back, and Spencer's really developing as kind of an all-purpose guy that's nifty and can do a lot of little things. So I like where the backs are. I think Wyatt Benson, our fullback, is a really outstanding football player, and I think Kenny Harper will have a real role as a fullback as well, as well as a big tailback. And we messed with that a little bit this spring, and it was exciting to watch. So, I don't know, I'm getting off track here. On offense, our receivers we have good receivers. They need to do a better job catching the football. And I was not happy with that today. I'd like to see that. We dropped too many balls today. They were there to be caught. We just dropped them. I thought Chris threw the ball pretty well today. and that was good to see. He's had a great spring. He's had a great spring. And I thought Juice operated some really good football plays today. I'm happy with the development of the quarterbacks. You know, we got some work to do with our tight ends, young tight ends, trying to develop them. You know, we lost Evan. That was a big hit, Matt Balsavich. And Alex Jackson's got to continue to grow, and Booth has done a good, steady job for us. So that's kind of where we are on offense and on defense. I really like the way John Yabote's developing as a big-time pass rusher. And I think Marcus Green is an outstanding pass rusher. Sean Daniels is coming during the spring. Our inside players have been very strong. Obviously, Custis missed spring with an issue physically, but he's fine. He'll be back. And that'll really bolster our inside guys. At the linebacker position, Akeem Smith really came on. We're young at Mike, but we like Nate Smith. Has done a great job for us. He's developing. And Tyler Metakevich is a new young player that we think is going to be a good football player. Praise Martin's coming along. So we've got a complement of guys there, and we feel good about our secondary, you know. Obviously, Zamel Johnson didn't participate this spring because of an injury, and he's a very good football player. And we feel like in the back end, Gilday's outstanding. We like the way Vaughn Caraway's come along. He's come along very nicely. So we've got some guys in and out right now, but we feel good about that personnel. I'd say depth. Our linebacker experience and depth is something that would concern us a little bit on defense. So our punter and our kicker, you know, McManus, I think, is outstanding. So that's kind of a very quick ramble through of our personnel. Anybody else specifically?
Nate? What would you like to do with Jalen this year on offense?
You'll see. I mean, he'll be involved in everything. He'll be in and out of the backfield. He'll be, you know, catching routes underneath. He's dynamic. He's fast. He's explosive. He can stop on a dime. I'm very impressed with him. He's a big-time guy.
You mentioned Nate Smith. He was all over the place today. I think it's unofficial.
That's how he is. You got it. He's all over the place. Now, he's going to make some mistakes. He's young, and, you know, sometimes he's out of his gap and a play will split on him, but he plays hard, and he's all over the field. That's what you want to hear when you talk about linebackers. That's what you should feel. Now, the experience is going to keep coming, but he is. That's who he is. I was mad today. You know, he's trying to make a play, he jumps on the back and horse collars him. But you know what? At the end of the day, this guy's just he's a motor guy. You know, he doesn't even, you talk to him like, you know, he's in a whole other zone, which is probably a good characteristic for a linebacker. It's kind of a natural guy who just needs to gain experience.
Can you talk a little bit more about Akeem Smith, who got the most improved?
Yeah, Akeem had a great spring. He's really developing as a linebacker. Last year, he's a little bit deer in the headlight, you know, just kind of like this a little bit, which is sometimes what happens when you change that position. Now he is really starting to learn how to play linebacker. He runs really well. He gets to the ball. He's going to continue to improve. With those two guys have pretty good speed to the ball on defense right now, both those linebackers.
Has Chris kind of tightened up his mechanics on throwing a couple of those throws? I know he missed his first 6, but I think the 145-yarder down the...
You know, I don't know that he missed them. Yeah. We dropped them. Yeah. I thought he threw the ball really well today. You know, there might have been a couple throws you'd like back, obviously, but I thought he threw the ball well, and he looked electric on the field to me. You know, and he's developing, you know, real well. I mean, think about where we were a year ago. I mean, just, you know, even for me, I got to go back and say, okay, you know, 3 quarterbacks later, so to speak. You know, but I think from where he ended last year to where he is now, and we thought last year he ended pretty well, right? We'd agree with that. And now where he is now, he's significantly ahead of where he was where he ended last year.
What specifically is
his command of the offense? And we're really, you know, doing a lot of things that are conducive for him. You know, things that he can do well. And he continues to grow throwing the ball. I like that. That's why I was a little disappointed. You know, I can't hide that about the fact that we dropped so many balls today. That bothered me. You know, it's just like, wow. I mean, he threw the ball threw the deep ball pretty well now. Those balls were all up there. You got to come down with those balls. Those are chunks of yards. We probably left over 100 yards on the field today, and just those, which it's got to be something we have the ability to do. And we didn't. You know, I didn't do everything today. And we got a lot of stuff we've been working on, and I just didn't really want to do that today. You know, and I don't know. You know how we all are. And I'm really not that paranoid a guy, but I just didn't want to show everything. You know.
What have you seen out of Matakevich the last couple months he's been here, and how do you see him fitting into that linebacker mix?
Well, I mean, I just think he's a work in progress, but he's tough. He plays hard. He's trying to figure it out, you know, and he's come a long way. I just think he'll be a good player for us. You know, how much, how little, I can't tell you that right now. I mean, one of the things I'm going to do, I can't be on the road recruiting, so I'm going to go back through. I sit in on the offense on everything, but this is a good opportunity to go back, and I'll probably watch every single practice again, every segment, and really study